Station provides over 8 hours a day of agriculture programming on the air, stream live, and in podcast. Find out all the on-air and online platforms you can hear WTIM by going to TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
It's the WTIM morning show right here on WTIM, your information station. I'm Tim Zalabak, your host. Thanks so much to the live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. We stream live on Facebook at Taylorville Daily News and on YouTube at WTIM TV. On the phone line, we have great friend of the morning show, Jack Myers, Public Affairs Specialist with the Social Security Administration. How are you today, Jack?
I'm doing well, Tim. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for being back with us here, getting an update, getting educated on everything we need to today. It looks like there's some changes on the how-to and accessing your My Social Security account. Very important stuff. What do you got for us?
Yeah, so, the My Social Security account is something we've talked about a lot through the years.
Yeah.
It's a way that a person can go to our website at ssa.gov and then either create or log in to their personal portal where they can see personalized information about themselves. They can see their earnings history, estimates of future benefits, request replacement Social Security cards in a lot of cases, and so much more, right?
Yeah.
So what's changing is the way that we access the account.
Okay.
But it's not necessarily changing for all users, Tim.
Okay.
Basically, what happened was back on September 18th of 2021, we made a change to the way that people create their accounts. So prior to that time, when you created a My Social Security account, we had you set up a username and a password, and you've been able to continue using those usernames and passwords to access the account. But as of 9/18/2021, we started using either login.gov or id.me. So basically, you set up your account with one of those two credential services, and then you use that account to connect to My Social Security. So since that point in time, anybody who's newly created their account has used that login.gov. That's kind of been the default. So if you're not sure which one it was probably login.gov, or you used id.me. So when you go to log into My Social Security, you see three options: log in with login.gov, log in with id.me, or log in with your username and password. And what's changing here in the not too distant future, I don't have an exact date because I don't know that that's been kind of locked down yet, but what is going to change eventually is you're no longer going to have that option to use your old username and password. So what you're going to need to do is convert that over to login.gov, and it's pretty easy to do, Tim. What you're going to do is you're going to log in with your existing username and password, and starting a while ago now, you will be prompted to, if you want to, I guess at this point in time, convert over to login.gov. And it's a pretty easy process, so it'll kind of walk you through it. We actually do have a YouTube video that shows you how to do that if you want some reassurance. But it is important that you do it because, like I said, at some point in time, that option to log in with that old username and password is no longer going to be there, and you're going to have to use login.gov or id.me. So we've been sending messages out, into your My Social Security message center. So you probably have seen something about it by now, but just want to give folks a heads up that this is something that's happening. We've been getting a lot of calls asking, is this happening? What's going on? Is there a transition? And I also want to reassure people that once you get into the account, it is exactly the same. So you're not going to notice anything any different. This is all just about what you're using to access the account. And then once you get in, it's no different than what you're used to.
Awesome. So this message is really going to the people who have been checking on their details prior to September 18th, 2021. And this is the biggest change for them. But not a change, thankfully, in the username or password. That's where I was thinking the hang-up was going to be there. So we're really looking for login.gov or id.me in terms of the future of this.
Yeah, that's what you're going to be using. And I know people have so many different passwords. And so if you're listening to this and you're trying to think, well, I don't remember when I set my account up, I don't know if this is going to apply to me or not. One of the things that I try to tell people to help you kind of understand which type of account you have is when you look at whatever secure location you have your usernames and passwords and login information stored, when you look at your information for My Social Security, if you see a username that looks just like a kind of a word but not an email address, or a combination of characters but not an email address, that's key there. If you see that and a password, then that's probably the old style. If you see an email address and a password, then that's the newer style. So that means you've already used login.gov or ID.me if your login is an email address.
Okay.
If it is a name, I like to joke and say, if it's grandma or grandpa 23 or whatever, that's the old style username, and you're going to be one of the ones that is going to need to convert over to this login.gov or ID.me.
Perfect. And login.gov and ID.me, they already know of the email that's been set up, so it's ready to access the account.
Yeah, so basically what you'll do is when you go in, you're going to, if you don't already have a login.gov account, because that's one of the advantages of login.gov. You can use it to access other government services, other government websites. So you might already be using login.gov for something else. If you are, that's great. You can continue to use the same existing login.gov. So you just log into that, and then if you're on our website, it'll kind of guide you through the process of linking that to your existing My Social Security account. And if you don't yet have a login.gov account, then you just use your email address and you create an account. About the biggest difference is it can't be a shared email address. So if you share an email address with a spouse and you both want to do this, you will have to create a new email address so that you can both have a login.gov account.
Perfect. And once you're in login.gov or ID.me, you kind of mentioned same, maybe not the same interface there, but you can access the same information. It's all going to be the same.
Yeah. Once you get into the My Social Security account through the login.gov, it is going to be the exact same interface that you're used to. So it'll look exactly the same as it does today when you access it with your username and password.
Perfect. Any other words to wrap up that conversation? Login.gov or ID.me. You kind of mentioned what you're going to find once you're in there, and then all the things you can access. If you want to reiterate those types of things one more time.
Yeah, well, just a reminder, if you go to our website at ssa.gov, right at the top of the page, we've got a banner that talks about this conversion. It says how to transition your Social Security account to login.gov. If you click on that, you can read some about this, and there's even a link to that video I talked about where it'll walk you right through the process. So
Sweet.
ssa.gov is the homepage, right at the top, a yellow banner. Can't miss it. Click on that, and it'll help you through this process if you're a little nervous or have some more questions.
Perfect. That is all easy to follow right there. Shared emails. I've never heard of that. Is that something that you encounter with SSA?
It is. It's something that people call us about from time to time. And with the old style account, because you didn't use your email address to log in, it was fine. A couple, for example, could share an email address and both use their same email address for their My Social Security account. But now that login.gov uses the email address to log into the account, you need to have a separate one, because otherwise it's not going to work. Because when the first person establishes it and then the second person goes in to try to establish theirs, they're going to get an error message that says that account already exists with login.gov.
Perfect. Learning all the information we need to about accessing My Social Security account with Jack Myers, Public Affairs Specialist with the Social Security Administration, right here on our WTIM morning show. We got to take a break. This one's been flying by on us. We have much more from Jack when we come back with the Social Security Administration. You're listening to WTIM, your information station.
Your information station. WTIM.
Everything is sounding.
Get ready, Dana Monster Truck fans. One big show, 7 p.m. this Friday. Dana Tri-County Fair will explode with the Monster Truck Nitro Tour. Big blown monster trucks flying over 30 feet in the air and more. Plus all new family affordable prices. Limited kids tickets only $10 while they last. VIP tickets include freight pit party pass to meet the drivers and the best seat in the house. Get your tickets now at monstertrucktour.com or get them late at the gate. No ticket fees. Come early and ride in a real monster truck at the Monster Truck Nitro Tour. One big show, 7 p.m. this Friday. Monster trucks and more. Plus all new family affordable prices. The Monster Truck Nitro Tour. It's gonna get wild. August 30th, the Pana Tri-County Fair. Pana Tri-County Fair will never be the same again.
If you're like most people, finding extra money for your savings just doesn't happen. Hi, this is Jennifer Mathis at People's Bank and Trust, and we have the solution you've been looking for. Sign up for our Save by Spending Roundup program, and we'll round up your purchases to the next dollar, then transfer that change to your savings account. It's as easy as shop, enjoy, and save. Start saving for the things you really want with our Save by Spending Roundup program. Call 888-PBT-1954 and let us put you and your savings first. People's Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Summer's still hot. Make the most of it with Southern Ledge Pools and Patios in Taylorville. Come see the new Pelican Reef patio furniture that will elevate your outdoor living with style and comfort. And check out the new green grills that are perfect for those mouth-watering barbecues. For a limited time, enjoy 10% off all syrups and spices that will add a delicious kick to your summer meals. Come by and let us help you make the most of this season. Shop in-store and online. Southern Ledge Pools and Patios, 306 East Main Cross in Taylorville. Your outdoor fun creator.
Your farmer-owned dairy, Prairie Farms Dairy, has lots of ways to get your protein this summer. Enjoy Prairie Farms Vitamin D Milk, 2%, 1%, and fat-free skim milk. Premium, 2% and 1% chocolate milk that's yummy. Strawberry milk and buttermilk, all in various container sizes, including 32 and 14-ounce bottles. Or cool off with 100% Florida orange juice, iced tea, fruit-flavored drinks, lemonade, and pink lemonade. All in your grocer or C-Store's dairy case from the farm families at Prairie Farms Dairy.
Perry Stanfa here, owner of Central Illinois Truck Service in Greenville. If you're a trucker, you know you gotta keep your rig on the road. Let our certified techs using the latest software keep you on the road. Click on our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and let us work for you.
Healthy children make better students and stronger athletes. Be their advocate. Schedule their back-to-school physicals today at SIU Center for Family Medicine. Call 217-824-1134 now or click their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
And we are back here on our WTIM morning show, this time with Jack Myers, Public Affairs Specialist with the Social Security Administration. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, again live on Facebook at Taylorville Daily News and on YouTube, WTIM TV. That first half, we learned all about accessing my Social Security account, and that's through login.gov or id.me. Same email, same password. It's looking like it's all going to be smooth operations for that. Jack Myers, talk a little bit about spouses' benefits, receiving Social Security credits, and all of this. How does this all work together?
Yeah, that's an important topic that we get a lot of questions about. People want to know, whether or not they're going to qualify for their own Social Security or whether or not they're going to qualify for Social Security benefits as a spouse. So, it's nice to kind of help talk a little bit about that, help people understand it.
Yeah.
Basically, one of the kind of primary things for people to understand is that if you don't have enough Social Security credit to get retirement benefits on your own record, there is a good chance that you'll be able to receive Social Security benefits as a spouse.
Great.
And the reason I say a good chance and not like an absolute thing is because I want to make sure we cover a group of people here who do work outside the home, but don't work in a job that is taxed by Social Security. And, typically that's going to be some type of governmental employment. A big example that is pretty common and near and dear to people's hearts here in the state of Illinois would be public school teachers, for example. They obviously work outside the home. They pay into a pension system called the Teachers Retirement System instead of paying into Social Security. So in those circumstances, if you've been a public school teacher for your entire career, so you don't have enough credits under Social Security to qualify, you may not get a spousal benefit. because there's something called government pension offset that's going to come into play, and it might make that, might offset that Social Security, so you might not get that spousal benefit. But if we're talking about a spouse who didn't work outside the home and at least enough to get the full 40 Social Security credits, then that individual will most likely qualify for a spousal benefit once their living spouse starts to collect either their own retirement benefit or potentially a disability benefit if they become disabled and are eligible for Social Security disability benefits. So, that's kind of step one there, Tim, is that spouse has to start collecting something on their own Social Security record. And then what we would look at if you're, for example, the spouse who wants to draw, we look at your eligibility, and it's going to be based on your age. So you're going to have to be 62 years of age or older, or you could potentially be younger if you have a child in your care who is entitled to benefits on that working spouse's record, and that child is younger than age 16 or disabled. So basically, you have to be 62 or older, or you've got to have a child under the age of 16 or disabled in your care, and then that would potentially make you eligible. There is an earnings limit, so if you're working outside the home, that's going to come into play, but a lot of times that's not the case because we're talking about your eligibility for spousal benefits because you don't have enough credits on your own record. So yeah, there is that possibility, and that can be a big difference maker for families in the retirement years.
Absolutely. Public school teacher, I think, was a perfect example for that one right there. I didn't quite know which system they were paying into right there, but it's a great use for them with a spouse, and they're trying to get into that. It's kind of a hang up for me where there's a pension program for public school teachers that are already paying into that, fine. But is there a need for that person to be gaining Social Security income from their spouse? Where does that problem arise? Like, how does that come about?
Well, that was just one system that came to mind.
Sure.
There are several other systems that are governmental type employers that don't pay into Social Security.
I see.
And so, in a lot of cases, those folks are not going to qualify for the spousal benefit because they have that pension from we call it a non-covered pension,
Okay.
One that was based on work not taxed by Social Security. So the spousal benefits, I think, the first place to go with this in your mind is it's kind of a dependency issue. So, if there was a spouse who doesn't have the work credits because they didn't work as much outside the home and they don't have either a government pension from another source or their own Social Security, then that's who should be kind of first and foremost in your mind as a good candidate to receive these spousal benefits.
Got it. Jack, we are in our last minute on this one. What's the best way we can wrap this up and kind of reiterate the things we talked about, or if you want to throw out any last topics for our listeners?
Yeah, so if you want to learn more about spousal benefits or any Social Security related topic, visit us on our website at ssa.gov. It is the best place to go for some early browsing and to learn about our benefits. You can also apply for benefits, including spousal benefits, retirement, disability, right there on the ssa.gov website.
Great. Jack, thank you so much for your time today. We always appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. Jack Myers, Public Affairs Specialist with the Social Security Administration. I learn more and more every single time we have him on. This has been our WTIM morning show. Thanks so much to our live stream sponsors, People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first, and Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. Thanks for tuning in.
Your information station, WTIM.
The Big 870 WTIM Assumption Taylorville, 96.1 W241 CF Taylorville, 107.5.